So one of the most important ways that Carter actually works is Carter is retrieving information from what's called a vector store. And for folks who are deeply steeped in AI, that may be a very common phrase, but for a lot of folks we talk to every day, it's not. And so we want to make that very easy to digest and help people understand what that means. So let's just start off. Tushar, talk to me. What exactly is a vector store?
As a human being, I have my memory within myself of what I can remember, but I use different applications like Notion or Microsoft Word and other applications to store information that I want to go reference to come up with a better judgment in the future. A vector store is external memory for these LLMs. And you can slice this memory in different ways, because just like how I take notes, you might take notes differently. So you might, for example, have just one long text, and that could be a note-taking mechanism. Or you might take this and put it into different folders and categorize that text. And so when we say we have different vector stores, different pieces of information need to be processed differently. So for example, you might have just text information, which would go into a vector index, a vector store. You might have relationship data, where you might have a fund that has these different portfolio companies. There's a relationship between the fund and the portfolio companies. You might put that into the graph store so that the graph has a deep understanding of the relationship between those entities. You might use a data store for time series data. So you might have performance information that is cutting across multiple dates and multiple years, and you want to store that into a database where it understands time really well. And so you use a cut across these stores to find relevant information based off the question. So if you're asking for performance information, you would go to the time store where you can get information based off of time. If you're asking for information about, for this particular fund, what are the different portfolio companies and give me information about them, you might go to the graph store to understand the relationship between those different entities so that you can paint that picture better. And then you might go to the text store to get information that's relevant to each other. So you might have notes and emails, unstructured information, and you want to find the most relevant pieces. So you might go to that. So in Carter, we cut across all of these stores and find the most relevant pieces of information so we can accurately give you back an answer.